Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the podcast today. A special shout out for all my listeners. This is the first episode for the AI Boom podcast. So, thumbs up if you are here because this is it. This is the beginning. Feel free to like and subscribe. But before we get into what we'll be talking about today, let me introduce myself. So, hi, my name is Safir Monroe, and I'm CEO founder of Undelay. Undelay is a startup to where we build AI agents and AI power software for city governments across the country, specifically municipal operations like airports, but we are expanding across the city sector. So we've been featured in Forbes 30 and 30 in 2025, which was last year, and we have been featured in Fox News as well as ABC on our different accomplishments and how we've been able to expand across the aviation sector. Also, we've been traveling across the country. As a lot of startup founders know, this is what it takes to fundraise, but we've fundraised with several different investors as well as different celebrities like Pharrell Williams and a Black Ambition Fund. So shout out to them. Thank you very much. But let me tell you why we built a solution. So I used to work at Delta Airlines actually as a software engineer. So coming from Howard, I got my degree in mechanical engineering, but sometimes in the office, it would get cold. We're in Atlanta, so, they're blasting AC because it's so hot outside. But, sometimes I would just sit under a tree right outside the office. And it's beautiful because you can see planes kind of just come over the sky and the building. So just sitting at the tree, just looking at sometimes the planes, thinking like, hey, what is something I could build to really change the world. I always have ideas, and everyone always has different ideas. But I always think about the industry, think about the world, think about ways to just build, different solutions, and really think about like, hey, like what are the problems of in transportation? Or I have a lot of experience within aviation, so what can we do, and who can I bring together to go after some of these very, very interesting, industries, right? Because, being exposed to the biggest airport in the world, there's so much going on and so many things to do and think about. So this is why we have the AI Boom podcast, because, at that time, people were really building a software architecture to really scale across different industries, and whoever had the best architecture when you had the first 3 or 4 employees could scale pretty quickly. But now it's saying, hey, who has the best AI, or who has the best AI agentic framework? So you're probably familiar with, I'd say, OpenAI or Anthropic or a lot of these different providers that build like the best models, right? But now we are in an era to where a lot of the superpower models are for free, right? They have a lot of open weight solutions like the Kimi series or GLM that are being produced by China and just put out in the open market, right? And a lot of people say, hey, I don't want my data sent to a foreign country, or oh no, it's dangerous. But these models are downloadable, and very safe. You could shut off the internet and then access the different models if they're downloaded in your computer. So it's very, very different than like just a company hosted model, right? So it's a lot safer from that perspective. And a lot of enterprises are starting to adopt this method. But for sure, I think just from a cost perspective, right? Let's say you're a small business and you want to say like, hey, like, how can I use AI to like build a cool application, or I have an idea I want to use AI around. You probably want to mix the two. So let's say if you say, hey, I want to spend $2,000 a month on Anthropic and OpenAI or Codex models, but can I spend $200 or $300 a month on weight models to see? I would really compare different AI models as consultants, right? Or different engineering team that you're hiring, right? Like you might have some senior level positions, mid-level positions, or junior, but you kind of mix and match, right? You need opinions from different sides, and also you need, well, a lot of the data that is great for AI models are coming from the same places like maybe Reddit or X, but the key is like saying, hey, how can I just rapidly prototype? About 40% of AI agents are really just failing in production. So even us, like we don't deploy, fully autonomous AI agents in the aviation industry because that's not ready yet. But they're great for experimentation, right? Like AI is so powerful, and just becoming that middleman to let that person that is running a team of AI agents to be a lot more efficient. So that's the key. But the goal is the cost problem. To get rid of the cost problem. You probably hear in the news like, oh, the data centers are getting built, billions of dollars are getting spent to change the world and build a lot of great things, but it's resource intensive, right? It costs a lot of electricity, it's using up a lot of water, but think goals like saying, okay, if I can mix and match my budget around open weight models and company hosted models, can that curb or manage some of demand? Can I move more efficiently? Can we go forward and structure in a good, right way? So, the first episode of AI Boom podcast is how to manage the AI boom more efficiently from a financial perspective, right? If you're a small business, you want to say, hey, how can I make a lot of money, but also like how can I be profitable, right? Like if I want to make $1 million, I need to make a couple 100,000 in profit, hopefully, but using the wrong models or using too many of wrong outputs or not structuring a certain infrastructure in the right way, you could make $1 million then lose $1 million, right? And breaking even is not the goal of business, especially in this era, because so a lot of things are so profitable and scalable that you want to really put yourself in a great solution to be as scalable and as functional as possible. And that is, we are moving in towards the open way era to where, hey, I want an AI powerful, tool within my house, right? I just want to download it from the internet and now have access to very powerful intelligence. So the goal is to say, hey, how can we create an AI boom to where everyone can relate to? How can a small business owner down the street say, hey, how can I use AI and just download it and then optimize it? And if I want a stronger AI, of course I could access the internet, but what can I utilize for myself? So, that's the goal for us is just to explain different ways so to optimize. I think when Jeff Bezos was first raising his first million, he had to explain to people what the internet was, right? So now, everyone has a smartphone, everyone has access to the internet, so you can't fathom a world without the internet or without your smartphone. But, through every major advancement in history, the best way for the general public to be able to, adopt solutions and for it to scale is different ways of explaining technology and getting accustomed, and the people just getting accustomed to new changes. If we can do that, underlay to help, the world or help different small businesses just understand AI and the strengths around it, different weaknesses, and how to navigate the world around it, that would be a great asset to add. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the AI Boom Podcast.